Hello everyone, this is Jack. This is going to be a quick review of the S&P 500 futures contract for today. What is today? Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. This is my end of day chart markup and some thoughts about the day today. And so we are going to get into it. Let me scroll it back here. Let me make the bars maybe a little bit bigger so that it's easier for you to see. And let's get into it. All right. So first, let me talk about the daily chart. Here's the daily chart. Make it a little bit bigger for you. All right. We've had a bull trend that formed a trading range, and after a while, we began a bear trend. But the bear trend was weak. You can see a lot of bull bars, a lot of overlap, buyers below all of these breakout points. And finally, we have some congestion here. You could call it a final flag that led to two big exhaustion bars late in a bear trend at some strong support levels from earlier in the chart, right around here. These are major higher lows there. And so after we've got those exhaustion bars, we began to rally. And I imagine that we got a couple of legs up to the moving average, maybe for a double top bear flag. And that's what we tried to do, but when we broke below the two bad sell signal bars, we found buyers at those lows and we reversed up. So we have a lot of buying pressure here. We have a lot of bull bodies. So it's likely that we're going to go higher. We got this big gap up on some news in the market about the war in Iran and oil. And since we've had that news, we've been in a strong bull trend to the upside. And at this point in the bull trend here, I imagine that we needed to pull back and create some more support before we went much higher, but to my surprise, we formed a very strong bull trend bar on the daily chart. And for that reason, it's likely that the market was resetting itself, and it's likely that we'll get some follow through here. But still, this is a lot of upward momentum, a lot of strong buying pressure, and we do need to pull back at some point. So it's very likely that any day, including yesterday, it would have been likely that we pulled back and at least attempted to get a bear swing either during the open or sometime during the day. But yesterday, this is yesterday, right? That was the 14th and today's the 15th. So this is yesterday. We have another strong bull trend bar. And I'll go over what they look like on the 5-minute chart here in a second. But because we have these two big strong bull bars, we're near some important resistance, and we've been rallying very hard without much of a pullback. It is very likely that today we would have pulled back at least below the close of this bar, maybe even tested the open of the day and produced some sort of attempt down, some sort of pullback. But this is a lot of buying pressure, and whatever reversal attempt that we get is likely to be minor and likely to fail and find buyers. Looks like the market is always in long, and we're probably going to the all-time high within the next couple of weeks. It's likely that we'll pull back, but it's also likely that that pullback will fail. So I was thinking that today could have formed a trending trading range day to the downside, or some sort of bear bar, maybe an inside bar, or maybe we gap down and then we rally or something like that. All of those would have been reasonable expectations. I think it's a little bit less likely that we would have had another strong bull trend today, since we've been doing that a lot for the past few days. So let me fix this chart real quick. Something like that. The last date here is 25. It's 24. Good enough. Whatever. All right, cool. So this is a 5-minute chart. This is yesterday. And let me go ahead and fix the scaling. So yesterday was a strong bull trend day. We had a midday trading range that formed essentially a double bottom bull flag. We formed a triangle here and then a strong bull trend into the close of the day. And the day before that, we had a weaker bull trend day. It was more of a bull trending trading range day, but still formed a very strong bull trend bar on the daily chart. And, there wasn't much of a bear swing on either of these days. So very unlikely that we would do that again today. So that's kind of my expectations for the day. Probably always in long, on the higher time frames, obviously, but probably we'll get some sort of attempt down, and probably we'll try to pull back. Maybe we pull back to these major higher lows, the bottom of these trading ranges, or maybe even all the way down to the low of the day yesterday. And I think that was probably the most likely situation to expect on the open. So we are gapping up. We have a 15% gap. That just means that the gap is about the size, 15% that of an average day's range, which for me just tells me that, pretty much anything is possible. I think it's likely we'll get some sort of trending trading range day. We've been in a trending behavior mode recently. So bar 1 and 2, consecutive strong bars, probably always long, probably going higher. The problem is when I look at these bars, I see an implied two-legged move up. We have a bit of a climax, the gap, which is the climax. We have, it looks like maybe a leg 1, pullback leg 2, and we have an implied two-legged move here. So this might lead to a second leg trap, or, I would not be buying this, is my point. I don't think that these bars are quite as strong as bars 1 and 2 from the prior day. There's no tail on the bottom of 1 and hardly a tail on the bottom of 2. But that's not the case here. We have a reversal attempt here that rallied, and another reversal attempt, and then a rally. And if you're looking for a trend from the open bull trend, that's not quite what you want to see. You want to see a little bit stronger. It needs to be essentially perfect. Otherwise, the probability is not very good. So no surprise, outside down, opening reversal down, bar 3. But unlikely to get a measured move down in the next bar or even couple of bars. Bars 1 and 2 are strong enough. That tells you that the bulls are willing to buy, and whatever attempt down we get needs to be very impressive and needs to get good follow through to make traders think that we're going to trend down. And when we get bar 4, that's not the kind of follow through that the bears are hoping for. So to me, what I see is we've had a strong bull trend on the higher time frames. We had a trading range here with a lot of buying pressure. We broke to the upside, and now we're pulling back to test that breakout point, and we're finding support. We have a couple of daily chart swing points right here that we're forming a trading range around. And we've got yesterday's high right here, the dashed green line. We have the midpoint of the Globex range. We have the Globex low down here, which could be a magnet. And maybe this bar will lead to a second leg down that tries to attempt to get down here. And we've got the close of yesterday right here, right around the moving average. So because bar 3 is big and climactic, closing above the moving average, getting bad follow through, testing all of this support and getting bad follow through, it makes me think that it's not going to get very far. So I would not be interested in selling, especially because we're above the moving average. It's better to think about life as always and long, at least at the moment. But still better to wait. Bar 4 could simply be a pullback, which leads to a second leg down. Better to do nothing, in my opinion. We form a bull inside bar, probably always and long, probably going to test up. We may find sellers in the upper range of this bar, but to me, this could be a broader bull channel. So I'm more interested in thinking about buying than selling. So if we do start to rally, I'd be interested for a scalp, but I'd be very quick to get out, worried about having sellers up here for a double top. 6, pretty strong close, closing right at the Globex high, probably going a little bit higher, but may pull back here. We already have a two-legged move up. We might get trend resumption from bar 3, so I'd be very careful about buying. I would like to see a pullback first. Pretty strong reversal attempt, but tail above and below the bar. Makes me think buyers below and a pullback that needs to test the close of 6, so I wouldn't sell. I'd be waiting to see what the follow-through looks like. For me to sell, this bar would have needed a stronger close. I think it's the appropriate size that signals that there may be strong sellers in the market, but because the close is weak in the overall context, it's not good enough, so we're probably always in long. 8, reasonable to think about buying here. I gotta kind of go a little bit quicker. I might have to even cut this short because I have to get out of here pretty soon, but probably always in long, probably going higher. I'd be interested in buying. Strong close, but leg 3. Makes me think that we might pull back, but I also think we're going to test up here. So I'm interested in buying. I would not take that sell. I would wait for the sell to fail and then think about buying. Or if we start to pull back, I'd wait to see if the pullback fails around the swing point on 8 before I start buying. Not sure if I would have bought during this bar, but now we have a parabolic wedge and we have climactic behavior here, bar 11. We'll probably start to pull back and go sideways here. Reasonable buy, but what are the odds that we just continue going higher before much of a pullback, especially after the amount of strength demonstrated here? Not very likely, so I'm waiting for the pullback. That's a reasonably strong close, but not very good context for sell to close. I think if you are selling the close and you don't get immediately good follow through, I think you got to be thinking about getting out. So an implied two-legged move down, we're near the low close on 10. So we're trying to make a double bottom bull flag here, and that's reasonable, tail above and below the bar. So maybe we pause and hesitate here. Surprisingly strong reversal up, probably going a little bit higher, but a lot of overlap here, so I'm worried about sellers up here for a double top. 16, I don't think I'd be buying. I'd be waiting to see more follow through before I'm buying. I think we might need to pull back into the range of this bear leg here after we break above 13 or 16. Reasonable to sell the close, but not that great of a context. Needs strong follow through. We pulled back, tested the high close. A little bit more interesting of a sell now, but bad sell signal. It's a bull bar, so probably sideways to down. Buyers below, but forcing you to buy at the top of a tight trading range, not very good. And then outside down with a big tail, not interested in selling, just not good enough context. And so far, a lot more buying pressure than selling pressure, so probably sideways here. Surprise bull breakout, but leg 3 again, and a bit of a climax breaking out of this bull channel, so we might pull back here. Small follow through bar doesn't give me much confidence that we're going much higher before we pull back. Tight trading range, probably buyers below, sellers above, and more sideways. Same. And then surprise bear breakout. Possibly a good sell, but we're right around the midpoint of the Globex range, and we might be making support. We have a swing point here on a line chart, and we're testing that breakout point right now. So probably we'll hesitate and go sideways. Better to wait and see what kind of follow through we get and what kind of pullback we get before selling. We're still always in long, and look what's happened all day. We have not touched the moving average. Inside bar and bull bar, bad sell, so I would not be selling here. Probably okay to buy, but I'd be looking to get out up here. Might double top with 24. Sideways, I would definitely think about getting out and maybe even think about shorting soon. I don't know if I would sell the close here, but it's an interesting sell. I bet we go sideways to down. 30, good entry bar, but tail near a double bottom. Moving average not far below. I would not be selling here. I'd be getting back to flat and thinking about longing. Decent signal bar for the long, but now I'm wondering about sellers up here, and it's not that strong, so interesting buy. Okay, we're right back to the top of the range. Reasonable to be long, but I would definitely be taking profits up here. Bear inside bar, might go sideways to down again, and then surprise bull bar. We could have a two-legged move. We might have a wedge top. We might have a double top. There's a pretty good amount of overlap here, and we have strong selling here and here. So I imagine we find sellers somewhere up above, but it looks like we're targeting the measured move of the Globex range to the upside. So okay to think about longing, but I would be quick to get out. We might get a deeper pullback here. We have a lot of bear bars, a lot of overlap, and some pretty decent selling pressure. So this swing point is going to be a target if we start to fail up here. Good bar, but why is it small? No tail. I imagine we need to pull back. And then 36, a statement by the bulls that they're taking profits. We've had consecutive climaxes, and a statement possibly by the bears that they're willing to sell around these prices up here. So this is now probably a target, at a minimum, probably the 34 low. Okay to sell, but might pull back. So a bit risky. The first spike break in the rally since 31. I'd be very careful selling here. Okay, we're probably going a little bit lower, probably sellers above. And a decent short, far enough away from the swing point, right above the moving average. We might bounce here, so I'd be very careful shorting, but I'm still interested in shorting. And then surprise bear breakout. Maybe sell the close, but what if it's a climax? We're also right near the 20 swing point low, and there's no tail above the bar, and there's an extremely strong close. So what are the odds that this falls further and hits the 14 low before it pulls back? I'm not very sure. So I'm waiting, probably selling during this bar, but now waiting to see what the pullback looks like. Pretty strong reversal up. I would not be interested in selling anymore unless we get a pretty strong reversal bar next. And that's pretty strong, but the tail here makes me worried about a micro double bottom and a bigger double bottom with 14. So I'd probably be doing nothing here. Second reversal up, an even stronger bar, but tail. So we might pull back a little bit, but I imagine we rally here. Reasonable buy. but maybe sellers up here. So I'd be careful. Probably we'll pull back and go sideways to up. Good follow through. I imagine back to always and long, but we might pull back here. And if that pullback is strong, I would certainly reconsider shorting again. This is pretty good selling pressure. So far the day is a trending bull trading range day, and decent selling pressure here, but where are the consecutive strong bear bars? We don't really have them. So the bulls are definitely stronger than the bears. Pullback imminent. I imagine upside is limited, probably sellers above, buyers below. Now we have a micro wedge top at a place where we could try to double top, but a bad sell signal. I imagine we pull back and the pullback fails. Surprise bull breakout, but double top and climactic behavior, so probably sideways here. Reasonable sell, but bad context, so probably buyers not far below. Big tail, I imagine buyers here. Sellers above, but bad sell, I imagine buyers below. Channeling higher, but now a double top again. Maybe a small triangle, probably sideways to down for a moment. Maybe a micro double bottom with the 51 close, but probably going a little bit lower. And then surprise bull bar. This looks like a news bar to me. We're always in long. We have a bull trending trading range day. We're channeling higher. We have strong selling pressure here. And now we're getting a surprise bull breakout with a big tail. This tail is probably a wedge bull flag, double bottom bull flag, triangle, some sort of pullback on a smaller time frame. So the follow through here is really the indicator of what happens next. And probably we're going higher. We have a bull bar. It's tiny. It's not good, but it's not a bear bar and it's not a doji bar. It's a bull bar. So probably buyers below, and we're probably going to go a little bit higher. Outside up, but tail again, we may find sellers up here and pull back more, but still probably going a little bit higher. More follow through, but finding sellers at each new high. So I'm not very confident in the rally, but still always in long. There's no reason to short. These are not good sell signals, and the context isn't very good for a sell either. So it's either flat or long. Buyers below, but now we have 3 legs up, so probably sellers not far above. Doji bar, but still channeling higher. Not a good sell either, so probably buyers somewhere below. And then surprise bull breakout. A bit climactic, so we might pull back here, but the market could be resetting itself. Pretty strong bar, not much overlap. Reasonable to buy the close, but I think we might pull back first. Pullback is weak so far. We've got an open gap, and if that gap stays open, I'll be thinking that we're going even higher to test these other resistance levels up here. Okay, the gap is closed, but we have 2 weak doji bars that are pulling back after a strong rally. I imagine we go sideways to up here. Strong close, probably going a little bit higher. And then 2 consecutive strong bars without much of a pullback. Probably going a little bit higher, but we probably also need to pull back here. All right, starting to go sideways here. Probably sellers not far above, a small bar. And then sign that bulls are taking profit and bears may begin to short. So this becomes a target. At a minimum, 62 high becomes a target. Probably going a little bit lower, but we might pull back. Probably sellers not far above. Consecutive bull bars, but maybe a double top up here. Probably we're going to form a trading range or a broader bull channel. A new high of the day this late in the day. Could be a parabolic wedge pullback after this bear spike, so maybe sellers up here. Sideways, I imagine we would go sideways to down. Outside down, but probably just a trading range. This might be more of a buy the close bar than a sell the close bar. Channeled lower. It doesn't look very good for the bears. All right, sellers above, but doji, so buyers above, buyers below, sellers above. We rallied, but big tail and a double top. Probably sellers not far above. And then probably going more sideways to down. And we formed a trading range into the close of the day. So that's the review. That's pretty much all I have to say for the moment. I really got to get out of here. What do we do tomorrow? Well, like I talked about on the daily chart, we've had a lot of up. I think we need a little bit of down. So that's probably what's likely tomorrow. Maybe we gap down and rally, or maybe we rally then sell off. But we probably need to pull back. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.